whether it is syncing.
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. Okay, fine. Yeah. So I'm going to draw a plot now. On x-axis, say we have uh, time, and on y-axis we have the concentration of the drug molecule. Concentration of drug molecule on y-axis. Okay, so for example, you are getting some curve like this. So this is concentration of the drug molecule in plasma or blood. Okay. So as per the definition, bioavailability is the amount of drug molecule which is present in the circulation, right? So in the previous lecture, we have taken aspirin as example. If we have 50 mg of aspirin, okay, so if we administer 50 mg of aspirin through uh, two different types of route of administration, say one is the oral administration and the another one is the intravenous administration. So I said that if we go with intravenous, right? So intravenous is keeping the drug molecule directly onto the blood circulation, onto the circulation. Okay, so if this red color is the drug molecule, what we do is we directly keep the drug molecule. We place the drug molecule on the circulation. Okay, so if we take 50 mg of the drug molecule and if we go for IV, definitely we are placing the entire 50 mg of the drug molecule into the circulation. So we can say the entire amount of the drug molecule is now transferred into the circulation. But that is not the case for oral administration. So if you take 50 mg of tablet or capsule, the mode of administration, it's oral drug molecule. Site of administration is mouth. So if you administer 50 mg of aspirin, if you take 50 mg of aspirin as an oral drug, definitely the bioavailability will be less than 100%. What's the reason for the bioavailability will not be 100% if we go for oral administration?
There may not be 100%
I hope I'm may not be 100%.
of
Can you
absorption.
say again?
100% absorption will not take place from the.
Absorption. So okay. So can you tell why 100% absorption may not be possible for oral drug molecule? What do you think is the reason for 100% absorption will not takes place always? That should be some reason, no? Blindly we cannot tell that there won't be 100% absorption. What do you think is the reason for, or what do you think is the reason to say that there won't be 100% absorption? Okay, so that's the various factors that are going to affect, right? So that's the ultimate topic which I'm going to discuss. I think this is the very last slide I have discussed with you, am I right? If you remember.
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. So, okay. So let me start again with the definition for bioavailability. So bioavailability is how quickly and how much drug molecule is present after a specific dose is administered. How much amount of the drug molecule is present in the blood after specific dose is administered, right? So this is the graph I plotted. Okay. So concentration of the drug molecule in the plasma versus time on x-axis, and the concentration of the drug molecule on the y-axis. Okay. So normally, we do not measure how much amount of the drug molecule which is present in the entire blood. Okay, what we do is we separate the plasma. Plasma is a component of blood. So if you go for any blood test, they will collect the blood sample, but they won't measure or they won't quantify the amount of drug which is present in the collected blood sample. So before that, before quantification, they isolate the plasma. So plasma is a kind of yellow color fluid. It's a component of blood. So they first isolate the plasma from the blood sample, and they will measure how much amount of the drug molecule which is present in the plasma. So that will give a very exact value comparing to taking the the entire blood sample. That's the point, right? So that's why we have plasma concentration. So time versus plasma concentration. Can you make a guess what could be the mode of administration of this drug molecule? If this is the graph, what should be the mode of administration? What kind of
Sir,
administration we can
is it
expect for this?
intravenous?
Intravenous? Any other answer? I'm not saying right or wrong. I'm expecting answer from some other students also. Aishwarya, you can also participate, right? No restrictions. So if this is the pattern of the graph, if you get a curve like this, my question is, what is the mode of administration of this drug molecule? So this is a time 0, time goes on, concentration 0, and concentration goes. Looking for kind of answer from others.
Intravenous, sir.
So second answer is also intravenous. It's a very simple question. You have to think before answering this. It's not a very big scientific question. It's a very simple logic question. Anybody can answer. So two students are saying it's intravenous. Can you say that? How do you say it as an intravenous mode of administration?
Sorry, intravenous mode of administration provides more absorption of the drug, sir.
It provides more absorption of the drug molecule at which time point? Can you define what is absorption? That's why I'm stating this question. Can you define what is first absorption? If I say that there is no concept called absorption for intravenous mode of administration, will you agree? Can somebody define what is absorption?
Yes, sir.
Can somebody first define what is absorption? I make the statement again.
Sir, it is a process by which the drug molecule enters into the systemic circulation from the site of administration.
Yes. So do we have a concept called as absorption for intravenous injection?
No, sir.
No, we do not have absorption for the molecule which is administered through intravenous injection, because we are placing the drug molecule directly onto the circulation. Do you agree?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Site of administration itself is the blood. So there is nothing called as absorption. The molecule need not to undergo anything called as absorption if the mode of administration is intravenous injection. But if it is an oral drug molecule or intramuscular or some other mode of administration, so we are not placing the drug molecule directly onto the circulation. So that's why the molecule should undergo a process, physical phenomenon called as absorption. But there is no concept called as absorption for the molecule which is administered as intravenous injection. Is it understandable?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. So now I
Yes,
again
sir.
come back to this image, right? So how do you say that this image corresponds for intravenous? How do you say that the mode of administration for this graph is intravenous injection?
Sir, the peak of the graph is very high, sir, which corresponds to very high concentration of the drug in plasma, sir.
Okay, so
That is achieved
wait.
using intravenous route, sir.
Okay, so if I go for intravenous, okay, I make the question more simple, right? So no complications. So if we take oral administration and if we take intravenous administration, so among these two, which of this administration we can expect that the initial concentration will be very high?
Sir, oral administration.
Okay, then you people do not understand the basics, right? So I have to go back to the
Intravenous, sir.
basics. Yes, different answers are coming, right? So I expect only one kind of answer, not multiple answers. Anyway, right? So let's say we have oral administration and intravenous administration. I hope that oral administration, you know that oral administration, the site of administration is mouth. For intravenous administration, we pick the vein, right? So and we inject the drug molecule onto the vein. So vein, it carries the blood, which means that ultimately that we are placing the drug molecule directly onto the blood in case of intravenous injection, but we are not placing the drug molecule directly to the blood or circulation in case of oral. So we keep the drug molecule on mouth, we swallow it, it enter into stomach, where the molecule dissociate, dissolve, and then we have the intestine, or we can call the entire path as gastrointestinal tract, GIT, which starts from mouth till the intestine, everything it covers between that. So somewhere in the gastrointestinal tract, the molecule is absorbed and enter into the blood. This is what actually happens in case of the oral drug molecule, right? So if you take 50 mg of aspirin and if you keep that drug molecule if you take the drug molecule as an oral drug molecule and if you take the same drug molecule as an intravenous injection, my question is, among the two route, in which route, through which route we can achieve maximum concentration even at 0 time? I'm talking about the initial concentration.
Intravenous.
Intravenous. Do you agree? Intravenous, right? So if I go back to this slide again, I give one more chance for you. Can you make a guess that if we get a plot like this, time versus plasma concentration, is this graph corresponding for oral drug administration or intravenous drug administration?
Oral drug, sir.
Okay, so if it is intravenous administration, the initial concentration should be very high. Do you agree? The 50 mg, if this is the 50 mg, so all the 50 mg will be initially in the bloodstream, and then slowly the curve will goes like this. Do you agree? The red color curve which I have drawn should be corresponding for the drug administered using intravenous injection. Okay, I come back to that point, right? So because we need to discuss so many points before that, I don't want to confuse you. So this plot is corresponding for the bioavailability of the drug molecule which is administered as a oral drug molecule. So if we take any oral drug molecule, if you take 50 mg of the oral drug molecule, initially the molecule will be present in the stomach. Rapidly the entire molecules, all the 50 mg cannot be entered in the bloodstream. It's going to be a very slow and steady process. It follows some kind of kinetics. So slowly the blood molecule will start entering into the bloodstream. So initially the concentration of the drug molecule in the bloodstream will be very small. So that's why the concentration is very less. And when time goes on, okay, after half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, the concentration of the drug molecule within the bloodstream or within the plasma will increase and reach a certain point. After reaching certain point, there is no more increase in the concentration of the drug molecule in the blood or circulation or the plasma. And then after that point, it started to decrease. Okay, so this graph should be corresponding for a drug molecule, which is definitely administered as a oral drug. Is it understandable?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. So now my question of my question or the question of interest is like, why beyond this point there is no increase in the intensity of the peak? Why it fall down? What do you think is the reason? So what is happening exactly during this point to this point? Can you tell? Because I already we defined what is meant by absorption, distribution, metabolism, excretion. I gave definition if you remember. So based on the definition, can you make a guess that what exactly is happening between these 2 points? When time goes on, the concentration increases till certain point. Which phenomenon is taking place from 0th point to that point?
Absorption.
Absorption. So can we say that absorption and distribution is taking place?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. So can you tell that why after that point there is no more increase in the intensity of the peak? It's a maximum. Beyond that, there is no increase. Why there is a decrease in the plasma concentration after certain time? What's
Elimination takes place.
okay? So that's a time in which metabolism elimination comes into picture, right? We'll discuss about this in detail. But whenever I show any plot like this, that you had to remember that certain region account for the absorption and distribution of the drug molecule, and certain part of this graph corresponding for elimination. It's a very general term which account for the metabolism, excretion, whatever it is, right? And this plot will differ if we change the mode of administration. The one that is on this slide is corresponding for oral administration of the drug molecule. If it is a intravenous administration, probably the graph should looks like this. The curve will looks like this. The initial concentration will be very high. When time goes on, the concentration will start decreasing because of the elimination process, right? So that's a very fundamental thing. Okay, so the point to remember here is like two things. One is that for any oral drug molecule, we cannot expect 100% bioavailability. Okay, because the absorption may not be 100%. There are many reasons. That's what we are going to see, right? So what are the reasons why for the oral drug molecule the absorption is not 100%? Second point is there is no concept called as absorption if the mode of administration of the drug molecule is intravenous administration. Okay, these are 2 points that you have to remember. And the definition for bioavailability is the amount of drug molecule which is present within the circulation. Okay, so moving to the next slide. Dose response relationship. So always the response that we get is related to the dose. We cannot generalize this, generalize that the dose which is present in the entire body. So it's mainly depends on the concentration of the drug molecule which is present near the site of action. Okay, if you remember in my previous lecture, I have told what is meant by site of action. That is the place where we have the defective or infective or diseased cells. That's a place where we have those are the cells which has the defective protein molecules or macromolecules, drug targets, to which the drug molecule should go and bind. So the response which depends on the concentration of the drug molecule that is present near the site of action. Okay, we'll discuss this in detail in some other slides, right? Okay, so this is a very generalized thing, whatever so far discussed, right? So dose of drug administered. So once if we administered some amount of the drug molecule, then those drug molecules should enter into the systemic circulation. Okay, so the drug concentration in systemic circulation So once if the drug enter into the systemic circulation, immediately the distribution process takes place, because the blood is flowing throughout the body. Blood is it is passing almost every part of the body, all the organ system, all the organs, all the tissues, all the cells, they receive blood, because they are the carrier of nutrients. Obviously all the cell need nutrients for its survival. So if any molecule which is present in the blood, that can be carried to almost all parts of the body. That's a key point, right? So that process what we call as distribution process. So once if the drug molecule is carried by the blood, so the drug molecule should be distributed through various tissues, right? So that's what's happening here, the drug in tissues of distribution. So ultimately, immediately, once if the molecule is taken inside the body, immediately the elimination process will start. There are many enzymes, okay, which are very crucial, essential, responsible for metabolism of the drug molecule or any foreign molecule which entered into the body. So the ultimate aim of elimination process is, as I said, that it accounts for both drug metabolism and excretion. So it metabolizes and excrete the molecule. Elimination comes into picture. So similarly, some quantity of the drug molecule should reach the site of action, because the drug molecule is carried to all part of the body, right? So somewhere we have the site of action. To that part also, some quantity of the drug molecule should be taken. The concentration which reaches the site of action, that is responsible for the pharmacological effect. Okay, so the pharmacological effect can be of two types. One is either it can be a kind of toxic effect, or it can be kind of expected biological response, or effectiveness, or therapeutic effect. So whatever is represented as here, the green color boxes, those are the phenomenon that are related to the pharmacokinetics. So whatever is represented without any box or black color font, those corresponding for the pharmacodynamics. So this is the journey of the drug molecule within the body. Already we discussed in detail about this. Okay, so coming to the details, right? So what are the various factors which can affect absorption, distribution, metabolism, excretion? So before looking into that, so translocation of drug, already we discussed that absorption, distribution, excretion, they're kind of process which comes under translocation. So there are two terms. One is translocation, another one is transformation. So transformation is a conversion which is related to the metabolism of the drug molecule. The processes absorption, distribution, excretion, they're related to translocation of the drug molecule. That's what I stated here. So during the absorption, distribution, excretion, the drug molecule should cross the cell membrane. Okay, so we can say that the biggest barrier for any drug molecule, or biggest barrier for the translocation of the drug molecule during either the absorption or distribution or excretion process, is going to be the cell membrane. Okay, because we know that it's definitely a very big physical barrier, because a membrane which regulate that which molecule should be entered into the cell, which molecule should not enter into the cell, which means that not all the molecules can enter into the cell that easily. So it's kind of controlling the traffic. So the cell membrane controls the traffic that happens, which molecules should be entered into the cell, at what time point it should be entered into the cell, which molecule should be sent out of the cell as a waste material, at what point of time it should be sent out. So everything is completely regulated by this membrane. So we can say in one word that the membrane is going to be the biggest barrier for the translocation of any drug molecule, whether it is absorption or distribution or excretion, whatever it is, right? So here I have the image of the cell membrane, just graphical abstract, not real thing. So if you consider this person as the drug molecule, okay, his job is mainly that he has to enter into the cell to perform his action. So சாஸ்திரா நெட்வொர்க் தான் அப்படிதான் இருக்கு. ஓகே ஓகே வா. Am I audible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah,
Yes,
okay,
sir.
okay. I think I got disconnected, right? Still, I'm in Shastra campus only. I don't know. Okay, so the big barrier for this drug molecule is I don't know when I got disconnected, right? So anyway, I repeat. So the biggest barrier for any drug molecule is going to be the membrane, because the membrane will not allow the molecule to enter or leave that easily. So it's like as I said, controlling the traffic. Okay, so it has to send some signal to enter the molecule into the cell, or any molecule to leave the cell. So initially, any drug molecule, whatever is the mode of administration, we cannot place the drug molecule directly inside the cell, whether it is oral administration or intravenous injection or intramuscular injection, whatever it is, right? So we have so many types of route of administration. Whatever is the route of administration, definitely the drug molecule will be present outside the cell. That is that we can keep the molecule only in the extracellular region, and the drug molecule should have the ability to somehow enter into the cell by crossing this barrier. This cell membrane is made up of made up of lipid bilayer. So I think you might study this in very detailed architecture of this in your cell and molecular biology. So I don't want to go very detailed, right? So it has a polar head and a non-polar tail. The characteristics of this polar head is that they can interact with aqueous or water, and the characteristics of this non-polar is they can easily interact with the lipid. Uh, they can interact with the molecules which are having the non-polar characteristics or lipid characteristics, right? Uh, so as I said, that there are different ways by which the drug molecule can enter into
Sir,
the cell. Yeah.
sir, your screen is not visible, sir. Are you presenting something?
I'm presenting. Is it visible now?
It's not visible. No, sir.
Let me check. Is it visible now?
Yes, sir.
Yes, right. Okay. So the first
Yes,
mode
sir,
of
coming up.
the first simplest way for any drug molecule to enter into cell is it may use the physical process called as passive diffusion. Okay, it's the most common way of the drug molecule to cross the membrane. But definitely not all the molecules can use the passive diffusion to get access into the cell, right? So the first property of the drug molecule for using this passive diffusion is that the molecule should have lipid nature. It should easily get soluble in the lipid bilayer, specifically in the tail part. Okay, so in this region, the drug molecule should get somehow dissolved. Okay, once if the molecule is capable of dissolving in this tail region, then it can slowly penetrate and enter into the intracellular part from extracellular part of the cell. So first thing is that it should have lipid solubility. There are different factors, right? So I'll tell one by one, right? So before that, this process is a spontaneous process. There is no need to supply any energy, because certain processes which may require energy for the movement, but this process is a very spontaneous process. No need to supply any energy. And in terms of concentration, the movement of this is from the higher concentration to the lower concentration. So or we can say that there's a concentration gradient. It plays an important role. The molecules cannot move from lower concentration to higher concentration. It can move only from higher concentration to lower concentration. And in this image you can see that the molecules are concentrated in this region, or we can say higher concentration is there. So the movement should be, if the molecule is lipid soluble, capable of using passive diffusion, then the molecule should move only from this part of to this part, right? So this is called as higher concentration to lower concentration, right? uh, yeah. So passive diffusion, as I said, that it mainly depends on two properties of the drug molecule. One is the lipid solubility of the drug molecule, another one is the molecular weight.